partners that we have. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this month's Partner Spotlight. I'm super excited to interview Sib and Kisa for Finer Credit Solutions. And they have a really interesting story that I just found out about 10 minutes ago, how they got started into the credit restoration industry. And it's really interesting related to some of our other partners that we have. So guys, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today and share your story, share your struggles and what you've done to have success in your business, and also share with us, where you're going next. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so why don't we start with the first step? We're all curious. How did you get started in this industry? I always want to find out everyone's story, because everyone's story is so unique and different and really interesting. So go for it.
Okay, so to give you all a background about ourselves, I started working for O'Reilly Auto Parts. I was a manager, and
I was in a call center life. So I've been a QA manager all the way down to just a sales agent. So sales has always been kind of in my background.
We both came from a sales background, and we so happened to one year take a vacation to the Bahamas.
Yes.
It was our first real vacation as a couple.
Yeah.
And during that vacation, we just sat back and thought and said, how could we start a business and no longer work for someone and work for ourselves and make money and keep our kids with us?
Right.
I think the biggest struggle we had was not wanting to put our kids in daycare.
Right.
And this was before COVID and everything. Like, this was 2018. 2017, my bad. Well, it was like we just wanted to find a way to keep our kids with us and vacation and travel and make money.
Yeah.
And we stumbled across a credit repair business. We ran into one of my cousins, which is a spotlight partner with you all. And that's how we got started. He gave us some insight on it, and we took his knowledge and ran with it.
Yeah, I think that one of the main reasons we said, hey, we want to travel and experience this more. On my end, I had to beg my employer for those days off. Like, my manager was like, no, you cannot have those days off. Well, if you do, you can take 3 days off. I'm like, well, 3 days is not enough to travel to the Bahamas and be back. And at that time, I was working 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. Like, I was working and giving my all to them, and I couldn't even get, days off to enjoy myself and enjoy my hard labor. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then we sat back and we Googled top earning businesses or industries that make over $1 billion or in that realm. And
that's how we got started.
Literally. And his cousin was in Florida at the same time we were in Florida, and we met up and we asked a specific question, and his eyes lit up and he was like, what? And we were just like, oh, we on to something, right? We on the right.
What was the question?
What is Credit Repair Cloud? Have you ever used Credit Repair Cloud? And he was like, what? And he was like, how did you hear about that? And we was just Google. And he was like, you Googled that? I'm like, yeah, we Googled it.
Cause this was 4 years ago. So a lot of people were doing credit, but it's not like how it is now where you have so many people doing it.
Right.
So for someone to say, hey, have you ever heard it? It's like your kid coming to you and asking you, what's the analogy I use for it? Like,
you told me.
What is a carpenter or what is a plumber? You're going to look at me like, what do you know about that? So when I asked him, he was like, you my little cousin. How do you even know about this? I've been doing this forever. I had to find it in a newspaper. Once his eyes blew up, we knew we was onto something. And from there, we just talked, passed information back and forth. But it was definitely a life-changing event. We've been doing it full time since 2017. It took us, I'm going to say, probably a year to really decide that we was ready to quit our jobs, because we did it slow pace. Like, we knew everything. We had the business structure, because I'm a manager, so I know how to put systems together. She in the call center, so she knew how to put her systems together.
That's so perfect.
Yep. So having a partner, and she have all the great ideas. That's one thing I can say. Kisa comes with all the great ideas. It just sometimes I'd rather go waste the money or bump my head before I present the idea back to her. And she be like, well, I told you to do this. So I can say I do have a that give me constructive criticism, and she definitely made me work hard, and that's how we got to where we are now.
Right.
So I'm curious to find out about